Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bombers Beat podcast. I apologize for having no show on Monday morning. I had a bit of a medical incident on Sunday night, and obviously I'm okay. I'm talking to you right here on this podcast, but I did not get a chance to do the full weekend recap of the Subway Series that I was hoping for, but we are right back at it today, and the Yankees were off on Monday, so they have a little bit of time before the Texas Rangers come to town, and they open up that first game here later tonight. That 3-game series begins with a 7:05 Eastern start time. Patrick Corbin will take the mound, who's the Clay, New York native, a guy that the Yankees were interested in many years ago. Is having a fairly decent start to the season, by the way. I know Patrick Corbin's career has taken a massive dip since he left the Arizona Diamondbacks, but he has been really, really solid so far for the Texas Rangers. His first start was a little bit shaky, 4 innings, 3 earned runs, but he's been very good since then with 5 1/3, 1 run, 5.2, 5.2, 5.2, 1, 7.2, and then gave up 3 runs in 6 innings against Colorado, 2 of them coming in 1 inning. So he has been a much more reasonable starter for Texas. And right away, the Rangers are just picking up a lot of guys that you probably liked a lot more a couple years ago. Like DeGrom has been really excellent. But the one thing I will note is that the Yankees have hit pretty well against Patrick Corbin in their career. Aaron Judge, maybe doesn't have the monster numbers, but guys like DJ LeMahieu has owned Patrick Corbin in his career, hitting .380 with 6 home runs. Cody Bellinger is even lefty on lefty, hitting almost 400 against him. So this is going to be a really interesting start for the Yankees. They've seen a lot of lefties, particularly out of the bullpen, but this is going to be an interesting start for them with a lefty on the mound. He'll go up against Will Warren, who we've talked about a number of times so far this season, coming off of, I would say, 2 really strong starts. Obviously, the start against the Athletics 11 days ago was really something. I thought he was pretty solid against Seattle as well, and I think you can talk about him, even though he gave up 2 runs over 5 innings. I think you look at the fact that he only walked 1. He had 9 strikeouts, and his curveball looked absolutely dominant. You start to look at his last 3 starts now. He's allowed in 17 innings. He's allowed 6 runs, but he's also struck out 24 batters. So he is really starting to feel his groove lately, and I'm excited to see him take the mound here. Game 2 of the series coming up against Texas will be another night game, 7:05 start time. They have not announced who the Yankee starter will be, but we are anticipating that Wednesday game will feature Jacob DeGrom, who obviously Yankees fans know well from his time with the New York Mets and how dominant he was then. He has been spectacular so far this year. 2.29 ERA, a whip under 1, a 53-11 strikeout to walk ratio. He looks healthy, and that's going to be a real tough start against the Yankees. So that's one to keep an eye on. And then the series finale on Thursday will be a early game, a 12:35 Eastern game. It'll be former Yankee Nate Eovaldi, who has been sensational so far this season, by the way. In 61 in the 3rd innings, a 1.61 ERA, a .77 whip. He has a 65-8 strikeout to walk ratio. Just absolutely filthy stuff. He has looked excellent this year, by the way. And, Texas is sitting 2 games above 500, but if they were to falter a little bit, Nate Eovaldi is a guy that I think could be a Yankees starting pitcher target later in the year. I know his time in New York wasn't anything special, but he has been really, really good this year. And I thought he's been pretty solid now for a minute. You look back at his time since he left the Yankees, and I say really since 2020, he has given you, his ERA has been under 3.9 every single year. And he has been a really solid starter for Boston and for Texas. So a guy to keep an eye on there. And then Carlos Rodon, who's, again, been really, really, really strong. Was a little bit shaky against the Athletics, but otherwise, you want to date back now to the middle of April, the last month. He's allowed 7 earned runs in his last 7 earned runs his last 6 starts. So this is a guy that's pitching at the top of his game right now after some early struggles. So this is going to be a very interesting series with a lot of starters, even though the Yankees won't bring Fried to the mound in this, with some starters that have been pitching well for both sides. And some big names, again, you're talking about Rodon and Corbin and DeGrom and Eovaldi. You throw in Will Warren, and then they have not announced another starter there. I don't know if they're going to go back to Ryan Yarbrough for that start, if they're going to do something different. But it does not look like anybody's coming back off the IL in terms of a guy they're going to start there. I don't imagine they're going to bring Brubaker to start in that spot. Stroman is going to need some more time. So it's going to be an interesting series overall for the Yankees. And they're entering here a little bit of an interesting stretch because you're now sitting, heading into play. Depending on the results of some of the games, I'm just recording before they play, but you're going to be either 4.5 or 5.5 games up on the division. Your schedule gets intriguing here. You've got these 3 games against Texas, but then you have a long West Coast trip. You have a 9-game West Coast trip before your next off day. Starts in Colorado, 3 games in Colorado, 3 games in Anaheim, and 3 games in Los Angeles to face the Dodgers. And the Rockies are horrible. Like, they're horrible. Like, that should be a sweep. Like, you look at this and you feel like you should go 8-4 in this stretch of 12 games. You've got 3 against the Rangers at home, 3 against the Rockies, 3 against the Angels and the Dodgers. I think 8-4 would be very reasonable. And if you're able to do that, that puts you at 35-23. And I think you're going to be feeling really good about yourself in that spot with the lead that you're starting to build over, the AL East that's just not very good right now. But you never know who's going to start to step up. You never know who's going to go on a run. And aside from the Orioles, who are 15 games below 500 right now, everybody else is at least within striking distance. They're at a point where, a 5 or 6 game win streak puts them right back into the conversation. So you still want to create as much space as humanly possible there if you're the Yankees. But I'm looking forward to the stretch here that will take you through the start of June before they get their next off day. And would like to see them beat up on the teams that they're better than. You get, again, 3 games in Colorado, 3 games against Anaheim. You want to be able to win the majority of those. Like, that's a stretch you want to go 5-1. Like, let's be real. Like, that's a stretch. 4-2 is the minimum, but I feel like you want to go 5-1 in that stretch. And then, obviously, the Dodgers are always going to be a tough series. It's a World Series rematch. It's going to be a Sunday night baseball game in there. And then you have Texas at home here to end this little homestand. So my look is here's 8-4. You go 8-4 in this stretch of 12 games before your next off day, I think you're going to be very happy with where you sit. And we will be here to break that all down on the Bombers Beat podcast. Again, sorry for missing out on Monday's show. Heck of a Subway series over the past weekend. I really hope you got a chance to sit down and enjoy multiple games. And as good as the atmosphere was for Game 1, Game 3, that night game, probably had the best atmosphere in general. And it's even better that the Yankees were able to take 2 of 3. But we'll be back, and we'll talk about the rest of this next series. These games are just as important in the standings as the one they just played. We'll talk about it, and we'll talk about how they navigate through the pitching trio of Patrick Corbin, Jacob deGrom, and Nate Eovaldi.